Let me tell you something that most people won't realize until it's already too late, if they ever realize it at all. Saving 0 rupees for 1 year doesn't just mean you have no money. It means you've built a life where money comes and disappears without ever staying long enough to change anything. And if you really let that sink in, you'll understand why so many people work for years and still feel like they're standing in the exact same place. Because on the surface, saving nothing doesn't look like a problem. You earn money, you pay your bills, you spend on things you like, and you survive the month. That sounds normal. In fact, that's exactly how most people live. But the real problem isn't what you see. The real problem is what's happening underneath. Because every single time you earn and spend everything, you're training your brain to believe one thing, that money is temporary. And once your brain accepts that idea, everything changes. You stop thinking about building. You stop thinking about growing. You stop thinking long term. And you start thinking only about getting through the next month. And that is how people get stuck. Not because they are not working hard, but because they are trapped in a loop that keeps resetting them back to 0. Now think about your life like a game where every month you receive resources, and money is your main resource. And you have two choices. Either you use that resource to build something that helps you in the future, or you use it only to survive the present. And if you are saving 0, then you are choosing survival every single time. And survival never creates progress. It only keeps you in the same place. And that is why two people with the same salary can end up in completely different situations after a few years. One builds slowly while the other stays stuck. And the difference is not income, but behavior. Now here's something most people never think about. Saving 0 for 1 year doesn't just cost you that 1 year. It costs you every year after that, because money that is not saved can never grow. And money that never grows forces you to work longer, harder, and with more pressure just to maintain the same life. Imagine if you had saved even a small amount, like 50 rupees a day. At the end of the year, that becomes 18,250. And if you don't touch it and continue the next year, then you are no longer starting from 0. You have a base. And once you have a base, money starts behaving differently. It starts compounding. It starts multiplying. And most importantly, it starts giving you options. But if you save 0, then you don't just lose money. You lose the opportunity for that money to ever work for you. And that is a much bigger loss than people realize. Now let's talk about control, because when you save nothing, you lose control over your life. Every decision becomes dependent on your next paycheck. You can't afford to take risks. You can't afford to make mistakes. You can't afford to slow down. You are constantly moving, not because you want to, but because you have to. And there is a huge difference between those two things. One is freedom, and the other is pressure. Now here is where things get serious. Most people think the real danger is low income, but that's not true. The real danger is having no margin. Margin is the space between what you earn and what you spend. And if that space is 0, your life becomes fragile. One unexpected problem can break everything. If something goes wrong tomorrow and you have no savings, then what is your plan? You borrow, you use credit, you delay the problem. But now you have created a new problem, which is debt. And debt doesn't just take your money, it takes your future money, which means you are now working for something you already spent. And this is how people slowly fall behind without even realizing it. Not in one big moment, but through small, repeated decisions. Now understand the psychology behind this. When you don't save, your brain gets addicted to immediate rewards. You earn money and instantly convert it into comfort, food, entertainment, and short-term happiness. And your brain starts associating money with spending. And once that habit becomes strong, saving starts to feel uncomfortable, even painful. And that is why people say they will start saving when they earn more. But habits don't change with income, they grow with income. If you spend everything at 10,000, you will spend everything at 50,000. If you save nothing now, you will save nothing later. The numbers change, but the behavior stays the same. Now imagine two versions of yourself. One continues saving 0, and the other starts saving a small amount consistently. In the beginning, Both look the same life, same routine, same lifestyle. But over time, the difference becomes massive. One version has savings, options, and peace of mind, while the other is still starting from zero and still feeling stuck. And that is the hidden cost of saving nothing. It doesn't show immediately, but it grows silently over time. The good news is, this problem is actually simple to fix, not because it requires a lot of money, but because it requires a small shift. Instead of saving what is left, you save first, before spending, before thinking, before deciding. You take out a small portion, even if it feels insignificant, because the goal is not to become rich overnight, but to break the cycle. And once that cycle is broken, everything else becomes easier. You start thinking differently, you start acting differently, and slowly, your financial life starts changing. So if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this: saving zero is not just doing nothing, actively choosing to stay where you are. And most people don't realize that choice until years have already passed. And now I want you to be honest with yourself for a moment. If nothing changes from today, where will you be 1 year from now? Still earning, still spending, and still ending at zero? Or will you finally break that pattern and start building something real? Because at the end of the day, this is not about money. It is about control. It is about freedom. And it is about the life you are choosing to create every single day. So here is a simple question. Are you going to save something this month? Or are you going to repeat the same cycle again? Comment below and tell me honestly. And if this made you think even a little differently, then like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe if you want more content like this, because the next video might be the one that completely changes how you see money. And until then, start small, but start now.